All right, guys, what is good? Hope y'all had a good holiday, good new year. It's been a busy last few weeks with the holidays and so forth. Y'all know how it goes. But we're going to start getting back on the grind here. And we have the Jordan 17 University Blue, aka UNC, whatever, however you prefer to call them. But first time they retroed. Yes, they obviously made fakes of them. That's why I'm doing this video, to compare them to the authentic for legit checking purposes. There's definitely going to be some differences, guys. So we definitely want you guys to avoid getting scammed out there, right? You already know the premise of these videos, guys. There's not going to be anywhere to cop, nothing like that. This is straight up legit checking between the two. I will be doing the lightnings within the next week or so as well. We'll be doing a real versus fake on those as well. So first time they retroed. A lot of people say they don't care for this model, yet it's sold out. Of course, it was super limited, probably more limited in my opinion than your Travis Scott releases, but it is what it is, guys. And retail, they're 300 bucks. That's quite high. You know what I'm saying? Economy has changed since the early 2000s, but it is what it is. There is that cult following for this particular shoe. So anywho, let's go ahead and get into it. Obviously, you can see the difference between the authentic here to the right box and the replicated to the left. Yes, we will go over the briefcases. They do come in as well, and then we'll get to the shoes, stitching, and so forth. Now, again, authentic here is clean. As you can see to the left here, they got a little lazy with it. Instead of putting the box in a box, they just used it as the box, taped it up, sent it out. So again, is what it is, guys. That's just kind of how things go. They will cut corners as far as they can to save cost. So anyway, let's get further into it here. So as we can see, the construction of the box, pull this out and then pull that out, right? So let's go ahead to the rep box. Let's see here. There we go. And pull that out. And then, yes, this does come up as well. So obviously the rep box is smaller. That's just usually how it goes. These are both going to be these are both for a size 12. Let me move this up a little bit. Let's get a little further inside the rep box. Open this up. Here we go. 23 Air AJ1CJS20, whatever that means. Open it, and that's about it. Nothing more to it. Let's go ahead here. Let me get this in here, guys. I don't want to struggle with this thing forever. There we go. All right, a few more seconds here. Okay, let's get you in there. And then having a look at the authentic to the right. There is no AJ or numbering or anything like that. Open it up. Of course, the box as well comes with a stamp on it. As you see there, there's no stamp on the rep. And you do get this tissue bubble wrap paper inside. And there's another sticker here. Right there. A lot of people get suspect when they see this particular sticker. That's the overseas sticker. I believe I've seen it on a lot of pairs from Hong Kong or China. Sorry about knocking the camera there. Let's see. Yeah, we got more stuff here. 2024, 12/20/2024, whatever all that means. We also have a box code. Let me get in here. There we go. We got a box code right there in the corner as well. So Nike kind of stayed true to the usual things they do with the boxes that we're used to seeing, on the regular boxes and so forth. Let me straighten that camera back out there. All right, guys, had to cut a minute out there. It was quite the challenge, actually, getting the authentic box back together. Let's get to the rear. There we go. And as you see, the Nike trademarks and so forth, as they do here on the left, not as clear, obviously, and so forth. So we don't have to dig too deep into that, but yeah, not the same quality. We got the same symbols here in the bottom right corners. Quite interesting. So it's like what kind of got me was that they took the time to actually try to replicate the outer cardboard box, which is pretty crazy to me. And the one thing this box is 1000% missing, there's no box label. No box label, which I thought was quite interesting. On the Authentic, we got a pull tab here, and there's the box label, or pull hole, whatever you want to call it. There it is, Air Jordan 17 Retro Low, University Blue, Chrome, and so forth. So there we have it when it comes to the box. Let me straighten this camera out a little bit. And now, let's go ahead and move forward since we don't have labels to compare and get to the actual briefcases. All right, here we are with the briefcases. They take this stuff serious, guys. That's why we do these videos. You don't know what you're doing, you can easily get sold a rep at a resale price of $500 or better for the 17 University Blues in a size 12, that is. So the Authentic is here to the left, the rep is to the right. Again, you can see a minor size difference on the rep. You see how it's a bit smaller than the Authentic to the left there. It's also a bit of a lighter shade of this chrome or silver or steel color, however, whatever color scheme you want to use. It's obviously darker here on the Authentic to the left. Another thing, like I said, there's a lot of corners they do cut. So obviously, these have flaps on them for you to obviously unlock the briefcase, right? So obviously they both work. Now the difference is on the actual Authentic to the left, when you pull, very smooth, hooks come out, you're good to go. On the rep, when you pull, you actually have to, it's a bit more resistant. So you got to pull a lot harder, and you see how it just pops open. And then, yeah, the hooks open up. Now, you see this here? There's definitely a difference in the quality. Also, those hooks are smaller, a little bit. Actually, no, my bad. They're not smaller per se. They're larger on the actual rep, a little smaller on the Authentic here. But crazy work. Crazy work. Again, they pretty much got, in all honesty, they kind of got, the look of it down and so forth. It's just smaller. Let's see here. Yeah, it's close. But like I said, the difference, at least with pulling the tabs and so forth, you feel the difference in the quality. You probably have to feel it to know what I'm talking about, but when you unlock them, you can feel the difference. It just feels a bit like a lighter material and so forth. So let's go ahead here and have a look inside the briefcases. See how well they match things up. There we go. The Authentic should stay open. The rep. There we go. I'm okay. All right, don't fall on us here. So anyway, the Authentic does come with internal white tissue paper. In this case, the rep didn't, but it is what it is with that. Okay, so the cushioning is near identical. The rep cushioning is a bit softer, where the rep foam cushioning is it's just a bit more sturdy, thicker, larger. I'll say that much. And there's like a bit of a glare to the Authentic to the left versus the rep to the right. Let me go ahead here, close this up. Let's compare the Jumpmans, because the Jumpmans are significantly different in how they're embossed on the actual briefcase. Let's get further into it. There we go. So as you can see here, now this is what's interesting. So again, they're similar. Yeah, this is kind of like the heavy set Jumpman, right? Here's MJ slim and trim, right? And here it's like there's like a glue. Okay, did they put? Okay, there's something over this Jumpman. Because again, it's not the cleanest Jumpman. Yeah, there's some type of material on here. I don't know if it's to protect it I'm just kind of playing with it right now. I just want to see if it's something that'll come off. It's probably there purposely. Yeah, that ain't coming off. Yeah, they actually, I don't know why they did that, but you can clearly see there's a difference between that Jumpman and this one. This one's embossed, crisp, and nice. This one here, I don't know if they didn't apply the finishing touch per se, but yeah, there's something, some solution. I'll be honest, it's probably some kind of glue because it looks like they got the NJ, around the outer, like designed in, and then they put this in there. But again, not clean at all, obviously. Arms looking wonky, hand looks wonky. There's just a lot going on there. So when you see Jumpman's looking like that, you want to question it. Now, on older OG pairs from the 90s, yeah, you might see some wonkiness on those. There's a lot of differences back then for certain things. I've seen that, but as far as it goes today, it's not necessarily to that level, but that'll do it for the briefcases, guys. Let's get to the shoes. And one more thing before we move on from the briefcases here. Obviously, looking at the legs on the bottom of the briefcases, you can see that, yeah, the gray legs on the actual authentic are a little bit darker. But one thing that's pretty evident, the positioning of where they are. As you can see here, they're all nearly to the outer edges, where here they're further in the actual bottom of the briefcase. So the positioning is definitely different, as you see these bottom ones right here on the authentic, just further up and in. So they're not all the way extended nearly out to the edge of the actual briefcases. And lastly, the wedges here, right? Just a darker gray. This is a different gray, like a lighter gray. Again, these are just for the briefcases, right? That's as far as it really goes on them. Just wanted to show you everything in its entirety, okay, guys? So you just kind of look and kind of question things. Okay, guys, here we are with the shoes. Let's start comparing them. Excuse me. So from afar, they do look similar. They do look similar. The toe is definitely shaped and different. Replication to the left, authentic to the right. And to help you guys out a little better, I took the blue peel off. So the chrome outer you're seeing here, those are the reps. On the authentics, we have the blue peel on it, okay? So at least that can help you guys out as we move forward in the video, right? In case you forget which is which. So let's get to it. So like I was saying, toe boxes are looks a little bit longer, a little bit pointier, almost like a torpedo per se, like a torpedo toe box. Here on the right, on the authentics, you see it's not as stretched, not as long, not as overscaled. You see these are overscaled, and that's what I'm talking about when you hear me say those things. Overscaled. It's a bigger shoe in certain aspects. You see how much bigger that toe box is versus the authentic here to our right. Now in person, looking at the university blue colors, the rep is a bit darker, the authentic is a bit lighter. Let's compare the tags down low. Almost identical in color. Now again, in person, the actual authentic is darker. The Jordan to the left is a bit lighter, but it's close. Tag's not as clean, obviously. The stitching's not as clean as the Jordan word on the actual tag. Now, something I want you guys to pay attention to, the piping. Look at the piping here on the rep. You see how thick it is on the collar, this piping here, versus the authentic, how thin and clean and crisp it is. See, these are the details I talk about when it comes to these shoes. When you hear a lot of like authentic guys or people that own resale stores and consignment shops and so forth, they touch so many of these shoes. These are like little details they even pick up without the rep. Like, just believe me when I say that. And I'm talking about consignment shops that actually have integrity. That they're not trying to pass reps off as retail and so forth. So as we can see here, you see the difference in the toe box. looks like the rep here, like I was talking about how it was a bit overscaled, just a different shape on that toe near the end. You can totally see the difference there. Also, the midsole here, something I wanted to speak on. On the authentic, you feel it's textured. You feel the midsole material and so forth. On the actual rep, it's obviously a rubber or whatever midsole, but it's smooth. It's like they sanded it down. You feel no texture whatsoever. And it's also like a darker white. Um, I'm just looking at the structure here. So we got a darker UNC here on the shank plate versus the authentic here on the right. Also, these slits here, right? The air slits here are smaller on the replication, larger on the authentic. Let's see, laces are pretty much about right. Interesting, the Jordan, the plate right here is actually smaller on the authentic and larger on the rep to the left. Also, this material, the sock material, they do, I'll be fair, they do feel nearly identical. However, again, stitching, look at the difference on the authentic here to the right versus the rep to the left. It's actually oversized. It's too, they went too low on the stitch. It should have been higher. Not as sharp, not as tight of a actual of the actual sock, but is what it is, guys. Let's see here. Again, having a look now on the medial here, they did better on the slits here. They're large. They're almost exactly the size of the authentic here to the right, except the leather's about the same too. Leather's the same pretty much. It's pretty much the same. A bit more tumbled and plush on the replication to the left. The slits are a little bit too big. They're a little bit too big on the actual replication there. Also, let's look at the midsoles here again. Let's see. Same thing. We got a strong texture here on the authentic to the right. Just smooth, buttery on the replication to the left. Just slide. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that'll have any difference as far as wearing this rep, as far as how these shoes are in the ground. Because see, yeah, it's like that on the outsole too. See, you got grip. You got grip on the outsole. On the authentic here, just slide, right? Like if you were sliding on ice. Now, what's saving that is obviously these areas here, the gray and blue areas on the actual outsole, because they have ridges and everything, so that'll help support. And again, we got that darker UNC on the replication to the left. They did their best to try to replicate the outsole. It's still a bit wonky in certain areas, obviously. See here, authentic on top, guys. Rep on the bottom here. See, even the Jumpman is mispositioned on the outsole. You see how it's angled to your right. Here, not really. Yeah, definitely different positions. So that's a good authentication tactic. Let's see here. We got a darker university blue on the authentic above on the outsole versus the replication on these ridges here, of course. All right, so now let's have a look at the rear of the shoes. Let's see. So you can see how much bigger, kind of wonkier it is here on the rep to the left. It's a little bit too wide here on the blue. Jumpman's bigger as well. What was the sock liner? Not, nope. And that sock, that sock up here is not as tall as it's supposed to be. It's too short. And let's see here. Stitching's not terrible here, but again, there's that piping. You see how oversized that piping is around the edge here versus the authentic to the right? It's not as noticeable. All right, let's have a look at the other shoes now. So here is the 23. Let's see here. We're probably going to see some similarities for sure amongst these left shoes now. So there's a 23 on the rep, 23 on the authentic to the right, rep to the left. And the 23 is a bit bolder and bigger on the replication to the left. It's just not as sleek. Again, it's a replication of the authentic, right? So it's just not as sleek in person, but it's different. But again, very, very difficult to tell on its own, right? Same thing, the slits here of the holes are too small, no question, night and day, night and day. And these are a size 12. Again, we got the darker shanks on the rep to the left versus the authentic to the right. Again, the leathers are similar. Now, as far as the shoe goes, when I feel them and squeeze them and stuff like that, this is what's odd. Like on the authentic here to the right, it feels, now this is the look on the replication. On the authentic, it feels plush when you like, you can feel the quality when you push in on it. On the actual authentic, excuse me, on the actual replication here, it's more flimsy. It's a much more flimsy, you know what I mean, structure and material. So these are the things I talk about when it comes to these shoes. Again, let's see here. Authentic on top, rep on bottom. They're similar. That's what's going on here, but same thing here. Yep. We got grip on the actual outsole on the authentic, none at all on that replication. So if you guys want to wear this, just be careful. Be careful if you guys choose to wear these reps, because these are the things that set them apart. Let's see here, looking at this design here in the middle of the outsole. And both are strong. And they tried their best to replicate it, but not perfect. But looking at these two rubber pieces here, the rep's just a little bit rougher, smoother on the actual authentic. Again, guys, this isn't to really say what shoe is better or what looks better. This is just for authentication. That's all this is. Look at that. Look how much wider it is here in the left sheesh. Now let me look at that sock on the rep to the left. Okay, here they kind of matched it, but they went a little bit overboard, went a little bit higher. So you see how you got all these ripples over here? Yeah, it's minimal on the authentic, but it shouldn't be to this level. Like you could just tell, not the greatest, stitch job, not the greatest. The material is, it almost feels the same, but the rep is different. It's flimsier versus the authentic, that it does give a more structured feel, that it would actually stay in position if you want to show the sock. I know some people will stuff it in and wear it like that and that's it. That people will probably do that with this too. But that's the difference. And again, piping here, a lot thicker and larger than it is on the authentic. So these are the things I say, about the differences. Again, the slits here, too small. On the authentic, the size they're supposed to be. And that's just how it goes, guys. That is how the cookie crumbles. We're going to go ahead and move into the stitching. I'm going to try to get photos of the internal factory tags, which is hard, guys. It's super hard to get in here. Pause on that, but it's difficult. I'll use that word instead. It's difficult to get in there. So we're going to see. I'm going to see what I can do. Then we'll look at the insoles, and we'll call it a day at that point. Oh, and we'll definitely do a black light test. Let's go ahead and compare the stitching, guys. Authentic to the left, rep to the right. Now, looking at the left, you see the stitching is a bit more spaced out. Looks like a little bit of a thicker stitch they used versus the rep to the right, which is thinner. It's a lot closer and tighter, but it's a thinner particular stitch. Now, also, we got a stamp on the authentic there. As you can see in the blue, rep doesn't have it. It does have the blueprint that you see there of the cross lines and so forth. So here we are to the actual internal tags. Now, what the rep got wrong are the manufacturing dates and that code number under the China sizing, 300 parentheses 2.5 right below that. Authentic starts with 065, rep starts with like 040. So I believe that's where the tags are important because those need to match up, no doubt. And now let's go ahead and move forward to the blacklight test. Okay, guys, so here we are with the insoles and internal tissue paper. So here's the replicated internal tissue paper. Here is the authentic. Again, I'm not trying to say this will make or break if a shoe's authentic or not, but I just wanted to show that there's always a difference. It's a lot shorter in the rep a lot of times, longer in the authentic. And having a look at the insoles here quickly. Obviously, they have the men's 12, men's size 12 tag, US based there usually. So as we look at the Jumpman, you see not as clean on the rep here to the left, right is nice and crisp on the authentic. They did get the color down on the rest of the insole. However, on the outsole, they definitely glued it up. It was hard to get this out. The authentics are not glued in. And let's see, Durapontex, DSC below it, Y3-192, Y3-190, Y3-190. So there we have it. But the biggest call out on this is going to be the glue there. They are not glued in on the actual authentic pairs and not obscenely glued like that either. Let's keep it moving. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into this black light test. Remember, reps are on the left, authentics to the right. Let me go ahead and cut the lights real quick. And we're going to see what they're working with. See if we see anything under the lighting. There we go. Okay, so here we go with the rep. I'm not seeing any guidelines of any sort. Oh, nope, no, that's not a guideline. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Nope, just some glue. Not in the guidelines. Just seeing some stitching there. Kind of surprised. Here we go. So when I say here we go, we got some watermarks here. You see that like red color there, then it's all white, then red again. There we go. I had a feeling. Let's see the outsole here. Yeah, the outsole's got it too. See how it's dark along the outer edging coming out to where my thumb is, and then it lightens up. I figured that would do that. I'm actually not seeing any guidelines on here. Just the stitching reflecting back to us. I'm actually pretty surprised on that one. And we got some solution here within the shank there. I don't know if that's like glue or something. Let's look at the authentic. So stitching does reflect back. And looks like we got a little bit of a blemish like watermark there. As you can see it, see that little white? See here, not a bunch of gunk under the shank. Outsole. Yeah, I'm not really seeing any, some type of chemical or solution. Now here, okay, here on the rubber, that could be glue. I don't know. But yeah, it's obviously not any type of an internal mess of any sort. And feel free to comment down below. Let me know if you guys see anything I don't. But yeah, the authentics are definitely clean. So yeah, blacklight test in this case, just being honest, the blacklight test may not be too helpful at determining if it's authentic or not. So that's that. All right, let's keep moving. All right, guys. So appreciate you hanging with your boy. I'm just gonna go ahead and start putting these shoes away. But I appreciate you hanging out for the review. I really wanted to do this actual comparison because there is no comparison for the new retro Jordan 17s at all anywhere online. So I figured, why not do it for everyone else so you guys got something to work with if you really are looking to decide to obtain these on the secondary market and what to watch out for, right? But like I said, they going as far as to making the boxes as well replicated and so forth. Um, they're gonna do that. So it is what it is. But hopefully this did, give you guys some tips, maybe educate you a little bit. And again, don't forget in the comments to go ahead and educate me. Something you guys might have saw that, I didn't call out. And it's not on purpose. I just didn't see it. This is all on the fly as well. Remember that, guys. So I didn't sit here and study these items before we went ahead and took a look at them. So hey, I appreciate y'all. Y'all know what it is. We out.